Okay, everybody, welcome to our Hanukkah service 2025. My name's Martin. For those that don't know me, I'm a graduate of IISHJ, the International Institute for Secular Humanistic Judaism, or something along those lines. I always forget what it stands for. I'm really pleased to welcome anybody that is their first time, or people that we haven't seen for a while, and everybody else. Could somebody read all or half of this?
Hanukkah may have its roots in winter celebrations observed in ancient Mesopotamian cultures. The festivities mark the winter solstice, symbolizing the triumph of increased daylight during a period when people were apprehensive about the potential decline of the sun. To counter this perceived threat, households illuminated 8 flames in their dwellings for 8 consecutive nights, either adding or diminishing the number of lit flames. The significance of light, representing life, and darkness, signifying death, infused the festival with a sense of optimism. Subsequently, rabbinic tradition attributed divine significance to the narrative of the Maccabees, who reclaimed control of Jerusalem and Jewish life. According to this tradition, the oil used to light the menorah in the temple miraculously endured for 8 days, adding another layer of religious meaning to the celebration. In humanistic Judaism, the contemporary observance of Hanukkah extends beyond historical narratives, emphasizing the choice to live courageously with creativity and hope. Each lit candle symbolizes a distinct human quality that can be cultivated to enhance our lives. Displaying the candles in windows or doorways serves to publicize the miracle of Jewish survival against all odds, all the more salient this year, highlighting the enduring resilience of the Jewish community.
Thank you. So let us light our Hanukkah. Would somebody like to read the English?
Good. Blessed is the light in the tradition which gives us joy and happiness in the kindling of the Hanukkah candles.
Baruch haor b'masoret hanoten lanu sason v'simcha v'hadlakat ner shel Hanukkah. And would somebody like to read the English here as well, please?
These lights we kindle for the wondrous deeds, for the liberations and the acts of justice our ancestors brought about in days of old and in our own time.
Hanerot halalu anu madlikin, hanerot halalu אנו מדליקים על המעשים הנפלאים ועל התשועות ועל הצדקות שעשו הורינו, שעשו הורינו בימים ההם, בימים ההם, בימים ההם ובזמן הזה. Hanukkah Sameach, everyone.
Chag Sameach.
Cold and darkness closing in, bring to mind oppression. In our hands we hold the power of our own redemption. The light of the menorah, casting forth its aura, filling us with strength and hope, a world ablaze with freedom. Filling us with strength and hope, a world ablaze with freedom. Children of the human race, whether free or fettered, wake the echoes of your songs where you may be scattered. Yours the message cheering that the time is nearing, which will see all people free, tyranny defeated, which will see all people free, tyranny defeated.
So with these next sections, I would like it if I read the left side, and then somebody else reads the right-hand side, please. So at the moment, just the left side is there. The first two nights of Hanukkah represent wisdom and self-respect. Wisdom is the ability to use knowledge, experience, understanding, and insight to make sound judgments, discern truth, and apply ethical principles for good, often involving a deep comprehension of life, human nature, and long-term consequences, rather than just accumulating facts. It's about knowing how and when to apply knowledge for well-being, balancing different perspectives, and accepting life's uncertainties.
Self-respect is a fundamental sense of your own worth, leading you to treat yourself with dignity, set healthy boundaries, and make choices aligned with your values, even when it's difficult. It's about internal validation, not external approval, and involves accepting your imperfections while striving to live authentically and treating yourselves and others with kindness, which ultimately guides how others treat you.
The third and fourth nights represent courage and freedom. Courage is the ability to do something that frightens you, or to face agony, pain, danger, or uncertainty despite feeling fear. It involves mental or moral strength to withstand hardship and make a conscious choice to act for a worthwhile purpose rather than being a lack of fear itself.
Freedom is the power or right to act, speak, and think as one wants, without unnecessary restraints, coercion, or external control. But it is a complex idea meaning different things in daily life. Politics, like voting, philosophy, such as free will and determination, and physics, like degrees of freedom. It is often defined by what you are free from, say slavery or oppression, and what you are free to do, pursue goals, or express oneself, always existing within limits, as one's personal freedom shouldn't infringe on another's.
The fifth and sixth nights represent love and faithfulness. Love is a complex mix of deep affection, care, and strong attraction, encompassing emotions, behaviors, and commitments that foster connection, intimacy, and well-being for others or oneself. It's often seen as a choice and practice of supporting someone's growth, involving both intense feelings and consistent, kind actions.
Faithfulness is a steadfast loyalty, trustworthiness, and commitment to a person, belief, promise, or duty, meaning you remain true and supportive even when it's difficult or unexciting. It's about consistent practice of loyalty, keeping your word, and being reliable, whether in a marriage, friendship, job, or community.
The seventh and eighth nights represent generosity and hope. Generosity is the quality of being unselfish and willing to give or share valuable resources such as time, money, attention, or skills freely and abundantly, with the intention of benefiting others and without expecting anything in return.
Hope is the optimistic feeling or expectation that good things will happen, involving a desire for a positive future outcome and the belief that it's possible, often linked to having goals and the motivation and plans to achieve them.
Thank you. So I'd like it if we could pause for some silent reflection on the following theme. Which of these qualities resonate most with me and why? Okay, so that would be our discussion for today. It's not letting me stop. How do I stop? Have I stopped sharing screen? Yes, okay. So we can discuss that. Which of those qualities resonate most with us and why?
Well, I chose self-respect because I think in general right now I feel a little overwhelmed and have like lots, to-do lists, and there's so much I could do or read in a day, and I'm finding that, I mean, I was just thinking about this yesterday or the day before that like I just need to be able to say no more and create boundaries around my time and how I spend it and kind of prioritize. Um, and so it can be kind of challenging right now because I'm like almost a year and a half into Epstein-Barr virus, elevated Epstein-Barr virus, mono, chronic fatigue syndrome. So,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't really have, as much energy as I used to. And I just turned 70, which is kind of like freaked me out a little bit. So so it's almost like, okay, how do I want to spend my time? It seems like every few years or so, thank you, I have to kind of reassess because it's like I realize, oh, I can't do everything in this life I'd love to do. So, what do I want to do and how do I want to spend my time? So, um, okay, so that's what I chose. Thank you.
Thank you. People just go ahead and unmute and say what you want to.
Okay, well, I was sort of chose two. You didn't say specifically that we couldn't, so, and I think they're linked. So, courage and hope. I know that perhaps that won't surprise anybody. We haven't mentioned what happened in Australia, but we also know the divisiveness and we know how strong the current is against hope and against being together and against humanity. And I think it is hugely courageous, though hugely necessary, to stand against it. And the hope is simply that enough of us, as exemplified by the people here and those we love and care about, can make that hope translate into something positive. What it will be, I don't know. It will be a hugely difficult journey, and you have to be courageous, and it won't always be easy. And we mustn't belittle ourselves if we don't have the strength or the emotional resources to do it. But it is something we strive for in order to help the world a better place in whatever little way works for us, because if enough of us do it, we can turn the tide. And, it starts with us and we can spread it outwards. It's just a great
Thank you.
challenge, but it's a necessary one and a scary one.
Thank you.
For me, you mentioned courage, and for me, courage and freedom kind of go hand in hand, especially right now, when there is so much, it's more than just negativity, it's out and out hatred. I'm talking anti-Semitism, I'm talking LGBT, I'm talking the growth of racism, and just having the courage to be able to fight it, but knowing that you also have the ability to fight it because we're allowed to fight it. They haven't taken that away from us yet. Um, to me, that's what resonates.
Thank you.
For me personally, it was love. Um, and I know that this could be said regardless of the age that we're living in, but it feels particularly poignant right now that we need that this age we need a lot more love in it. It seems like there's been kind of a waning of love, and specifically the type of love I'm referring to is having empathy for each other and understanding differences and accepting them, and also, particularly here in the United States with and I know that you deal with this somewhat in Europe and in particularly in the UK, but with hatred towards undocumented immigrants and other immigrants, um, it's it's a very sad time where there needs to be more compassion and empathy, and that's why love resonated with me.
Thank you.
I'll kind of echo a little bit what others have said. For me, love and hope really speak to me. I hope, last night I got to hear a service where the rabbi spoke of the work that she framed it as the work that she saw as a rabbi was about being a bringer of hope, of helping people to have hope. And that really spoke to me as even a broader sense, not just for rabbis, but for all Jews, that maybe part of our mission is about bringing hope. And I didn't know, that really gave me some peace last night when I needed it.
Thank you.
This wasn't about one specific um, value. Uh, it was more just a reaction, how grateful I am that we have a holiday that reminds us of these things. Um, just it's not new that there's been oppression in the world, and I really enjoyed the different, I'll call them value candles that you could choose from. But I'm glad that there's a holiday that, yeah, we can be. It makes me proud to be Jewish, and that this is part of our heritage in some ways. And but also, I know Hanukkah means different things to different people, but it's kind of a there's a message of resilience in there to me that I think is very, very important, just as a human being, but also as a collective group that doesn't want to see people oppressed in our world, and doesn't want to see hatred and whatnot in our world.
Yeah, thank you. Did anybody notice that there's a sort of arc in the each light, each value? Somebody pointed it out to me that at last night, actually. Where are they now? That each one kind of can feed into the next one. Did anyone notice that? Or can you see that? Wisdom can lead to self-respect, which can lead to courage, which can lead to freedom, which can lead to love and faithfulness, loyalty, etc., etc. I don't know if that's um, now that I've mentioned it, if that kind of resonates. How do you think that can happen? How can they feed into each other?
Well, I think, go ahead.
I was going to say, and then I realized you're not sharing your screen anymore. I was going to say, can you show us the image again? But um, so is the point that you're making, Martin, about how each of them, like one feeds into the next, or like that there's an arc from wisdom to hope?
Yeah, that they can feed into each other, but also create an arc. I mean,
Hmm.
either. It's not like it's set in stone. What do you
Okay.
think?
I'm going to think about that for a second, and
Yeah.
I apologize for the person that I cut off. Please go ahead and share your comment. Or not. Uh, I do kind of think of them as building on one another. That that each is kind of fulfilled in the one that follows. It does take wisdom about oneself to have a strong sense of self-respect, and the greatest courage comes from having a strong sense of self-respect. and it goes on like this. I mean, I'm not going to go on each of the candles, but finally, to have the fullest sense of hope, to have a real sense of hope, takes the takes each of those flames to be lit before we get to that final flame.
Exactly, yeah. Thank you.
I wonder if anyone's ever done a Kabbalistic tree of the menorah, because obviously there are other examples of the Kabbalistic tree, that have the different levels. But yeah, seeing it, I'm surprised no one ever, that I saw, none of the rabbis I ever listened to, I don't remember them ever doing that, that each of the candles could represent one of the levels of the Sephirotic tree. But that's what this reminds me of.
There is a Shviti. You know the Shviti?
Is that the prayer in the shape of a menorah?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
But it's not. Yeah, it's not. It's not what you were just referring to exactly, but it is connected. Yeah.
Yeah. I noticed that when I
Mm.
started going to a Sephardic
Yeah.
shul, that was. I never figured out how to read. I could not read that. So I was amazed that people were able to read that.
Mm. I've always liked the idea of having these values made to look like that, but I don't have enough skill to make that myself.
Now that I'm looking at these things lined up, I realize that this year has been very important to me to strengthen my self-respect as a Jew. It was very necessary, and it helped me to clarify my thinking and to have the courage to speak about it. So that does resonate with me, especially this year.
I've seen that in a few people this year.
I was thinking of a disco ball because I don't know if the light comes from within or is reflected. But when I was thinking last night, one of the messages I had was about being the light and how much light there is when we are gathered together, all doing our Jewishness according to our values. And so I was thinking of a disco ball when you said, how do these reflect? I'm like, well, you could do all kinds of different things and how they do play off of each other in the reflected world. So I thought I would share that.
Yeah, that's beautiful. It sounds quite Kabbalistic as well, in a sense.
I wonder if it could be argued, is the Shamash the least important or the most important?
Just say more.
Well, I mean, I'm noticing on your graphic here that the Shamash is in the middle is blank. And I guess that could be a write in your own. Oh, it's not blank? Oh, there we go. Yeah, you write in your own.
That's just me writing what I think the Shamash means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a great. I think that's also cool that it was left blank, but could be intended to write your own from your own heart. Write it in.
Yeah, great.
And that it makes it go, is it the least important candle or is it the most important candle? And I guess by writing what you want in there, it elevates it.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
that's
interesting that I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I was going to say that it's interesting what you're saying, Aaron, because when you're talking about the shamans, because personally, I have always found the traditional menorah frustrating because the shamus, which is supposed to be the serving candle, being in the middle, it's kind of like this is the one that has all the attention. And the menorahs where you have the shamus off to the side, besides being much easier to put it back when you're done using it and you're not setting your hand on fire, um, to me, it seems like it's its rightful place where your focus then is on the candle or candles for the particular night, as opposed to you have this one candle that's taller than everything else and your eyes seem to be drawn to it. So personally, I think whoever designed the menorah way back when kind of messed up when they labeled the shamus where they did.
The shamas is supposed to be the helper, right? So Ashkenazim use that one to light all of them, but Sephardim light all of them and then the shamas. So that's, I don't know if that changes your relationship to it, Suzanne, but potentially.
You say that you say Sephardic light all of them and then the shamus, but the shamus is used to light, at least in Ashkenazi Judaism, the shamus is used to light the rest of them.
Yeah, I know.
But there are a lot of menorahs now. You see, like the pickle menorah, where the shamus is off to the side.
And to me, that makes so much
It
more
isn't.
sense.
It isn't necessary to have it in the middle. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you were using it to light all of them and you put your own meaning in it, that meaning would have to be able to connect to all of the other ones. I guess. So that I think that's quite interesting. I think this is a interesting conversation we're having about the shamas because I intentionally left it blank, but it stood out to me as blank.
so. We used to have a debate in my house about this, which I think maybe came from maybe it's a Sephardic Ashkenazi debate. Especially for those of us who have menorahs that have very tight spaces, where if you try to, like was already mentioned, whenever you try to put it back, you could knock off all the other candles or burn your hand. And so my son took to taking the lighter and just using the gas off the shamash, to light it. It was still, so he would use a lighter, but he would start with it would come off the shamash, and then he would light the others. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, we had this debate about is it accept, and and then there's all the discussions about what was the purpose of the shamash anyway, and the halakhic discussions and classes on, that you're always supposed to have before Hanukkah of the month, within 30 days of any holiday, where you're supposed to discuss the halakha of whatever the holiday
Yeah,
is.
exactly.
Well, the
So,
menorah for Hanukkah, a Hanukkah has 9 candles if you include the shamas, whereas the
Yeah.
temple menorah only had 7. And the reason why for Hanukkah they added it on because of how long it lasted till the new batch of oil was ready, supposedly. So again, in the temple, what would the purpose of the shema have the shamas have been?
To
So
light all the others.
yeah, yeah.
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 So again, why would they have put it dead center?
Then the also famous question: why was it a miracle? Why was the first lighting part of the miracle? That wasn't unusual. That you had one day of oil.
Yeah.
it's that's not the miracle. It's the other ones are the miracle. That anyway. But
Yeah. Um, so does anyone know what shamash means?
the guardian,
Yeah, and the helper.
yeah, the
Yeah,
sexton.
yeah, the sexton. Yeah, exactly. But what else? What's its root?
Keeper.
Yeah.
And listen, Shema.
Oh,
No, it's shin mem shin.
Well, isn't that Shemesh? For
Shemesh.
the
I know
sun.
that
Yes.
one. Thank you.
The sun.
The sun, like the sun in the sky, sun.
Yes,
The light.
exactly. So why are we lighting it at this time of year?
We
What
don't
do
have much on the northern
exactly?
hemisphere.
Exactly. Exactly.
I,
And
I
I
love
find
it
that
this
interesting.
year that we coincide. I'm sorry. I
Okay.
love it that we're coinciding so closely with the solstice. Because my family are, for many, as far as I know back, farmers. And on both sides of my family, people paid attention to the sun and the moon as part of their farming. And when those come together with a Rosh Chodesh, a winter solstice, an eighth night of Hanukkah, it feels kind of magical this year. That is very more coinciding than on other years.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it when it crosses over the I mean, isn't it finishing on the winter solstice this year, right? Yeah. So on the very night that it's the shortest day of the year, the very next day is the first longer day, right? So that's really meaningful. And the sun and Shamash is also a Babylonian god, the sun god, Babylonian sun god. So when we think that back in the day they used to light fires at this time of year at the winter solstice, and then the debate between Shammai and Hillel, um, who knows that debate? Which one I'm referring to? Yeah, do you want to say?
It's how you actually light the menorah.
Yeah, well, you want to say more?
Yeah, it's whether or not you do 8 candles and then take away one each night, which was Shammai, and then Hillel's the one where you said you wound up adding it.
Exactly. Yeah. Do you know the reason?
If
To
memory
bring
serves correct, he thought it was Shammai was more like your your you know what? You better explain it. I have it in my head, but it's not coming out of my mouth right. My apologies.
Wasn't it
Okay.
Hillel who said it's better to increase light than decrease light?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So you increase the blessing rather than decrease it. And then Shammai said it didn't make sense because in reality at the temple, it would have been decreasing each night. So both arguments are kind of correct. But why am I bringing this up? Because we are symbolizing the increase of light at this time of year. So as we increase each night, it's going up to the darkest, right? And then this year, on the night that we have the most light, the very next day we have extra time of light. So that's really meaningful. And in a way, I feel like I wish it never moved, because of the lunar solar calendar. I wish it was just fixed and it was always finishing on the 21st or the 20th. It would be really nice. I remember saying that before, and it was like, oh, radical, you want to change the date of Hanukkah. Yeah. Um, okay, just because we were talking about it, I wanted to show a video of how Western Sephardim light the Hanukkah, and you'll notice what's done with the shamash. Um, Can you see? Can everyone see? Yeah.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר של חנוכה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שנשא ניסים לאבותינו בימים ההם ובזמן הזה. הנרות הללו אנו מדליקים על הניסים, על הפורקן, על הגבורות, על התשומות, על הנפלאות ועל הנחמות שעשית לאבותינו בימים ההם ובזמן הזה על ידי כהניך הקדושים וכל שמונת ימי חנוכה. הנרות הללו קודש הם ואין לנו רשות להשתמש בהם אלא לראותם בלבד כדי להודות לשמך על ניסיך על ישועותיך ועל נפלאותיך. מזמור שיר חנוכת הבית לדוד.
So you see, the shamash was lit afterwards, and he was using this other candle, which was lit from an already lit candle, which is what I did.
So why even have a shamash?
Well, that's the question.
Yeah.
What does the shamash mean?
Yeah, in that case. It's not being the helper candle in that case.
What is it? Yeah, exactly.
Sure, it's a helper candle. It's adding more light.
Well, it's the shemesh. It's the shemesh.
Yeah.
Because
That's how I do it. That's how I do it because my helper candle is always like affixed. It's always affixed first. And so if I don't light it like kind of like last, then I can't affix it. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like I can't affix it. It'll just be dangling somewhere. It won't be situated. So I've always done it that way. I didn't have any other way to do it.
I believe the one of the discussions is that you're not supposed to benefit from the you're not supposed to put them to work, the holy candles. So they put the extra candle to the shamash to say that that's the worker candle.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, worker in what way? I mean, I'm still not sure I totally understand.
Well,
You're
and
not
it's
supposed to
funny
benefit from you're not supposed to use the Hanukkah lights as illumination. You're only supposed to look on them out of respect. You're not supposed to go, oh, now that I've lit the menorah, I can use it to have light to be able to read or something like that.
Okay, so the shamash becomes even more symbolic. I mean, like,
yeah, more important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, this is before electricity.
Exactly. Yeah.
One interesting tangent, but I think it's related to this, is just the sheer extravagance of Hanukkah, all the candle lighting. And I'm thinking about this specifically this morning because I remember years ago, I invited a dear friend of a couple that I knew from the Mennonite church, but they both grew up Amish, to a Hanukkah party. And I remember my friend Sadie, she, at the end of it, she was really kind of disturbed by the number of candles we lit. And for her, she saw it as, this is so wasteful, so many candles being burned at one time. And I kept explaining, it's like, yes, but this is the point of the holiday. It's really given me a lot to, and I hear her point, but I also come back to saying that that's the point of Hanukkah. It is extravagance. It's not our normal everyday kind of thing. But I don't know. I do always think about that, though, that her just look on her face when she saw how many candles we were going to light. She was just horrified because she's
Yeah.
extremely frugal.
So, so this has been a really interesting discussion. I didn't expect it to. I kind of expected it, because when you look at the what do we call it? The page with the values on it, it's kind of standing out as this candle that has no meaning ascribed to it. So I found that a very interesting conversation. Thank you, everyone. It's gonna give me food for thought for the future.
By the way,
Yeah.
are there dripless Hanukkah candles? I get tired.
I don't use wax candles, so
If
Okay.
you put
Ours
them in
don't
the
drip much,
freezer,
I must say.
it really cuts down on the dripping.
I'm sorry, what?
If you put them in the freezer, it really cuts down on the dripping.
Oh,
So
interesting.
yeah. A menorah that we use is one that we wound up getting in childhood. It takes birthday candles. And first night, my sister's like, "You didn't put these in the freezer." We're not using them because I'm not cleaning the menorah, and we use a different menorah and a different set of candles. It
Well,
really makes a difference.
Go ahead, Paula.
These handles rarely drip, I must say.
Okay, they're beautiful.
Occasionally, one or two will drip, but they don't. It's interesting.
Yeah, they are. I've seen candles online advertised as non-drip Hanukkah candles. Now, whether I've never used them, so whether they actually are better, I don't know. They
Well,
may be
last
similar
night-
to what Paula was talking about.
Well, last night I discovered for the first time in my 70-year life a really easy way to clean the menorah was with a corkscrew. I was like, unbelievable. It was so easy. I wish I'd known it, like tried it 50 years ago.
We use a seafood, like the crab thing.
Yeah.
That's what we always use.
Yeah.
That or a crochet hook, one with a really small hook is good. Because I saw something on one of these Judaica sites this year, an actual tool, they were saying that it works better. But like, who's going to spend the money just for something like that?
But there's plenty of corkscrews around, yeah.
So paraffin candles, which they usually make Shabbat candles like that, don't. If you wanted to have a menorah, a big menorah, I guess, with paraffin, the white paraffin candles, those are, no drip.
I'm scared of paraffin. I don't know why. That's like I just went no.
It should be all night waiting for it to burn down. It would take you hours.
Yeah. Okay. Who feels confident to sing something?
What?
Banu Choshech. I will put the words up.
I'm not
Do you
sure.
want to sing?
I don't know if I know that song.
Does anyone else know Banu Choshech? Ah, okay. Down to me again then. Okay. Where's my? Am I already sharing?
No.
No, it's weird. Okay.
There you go.
So people really don't know it?
Mm-mm.
Well, we don't. I mean, if we could hear some of it, then we might
Okay.
remember. recognize.
Yeah, so it
Well,
goes,
then we hear it.
Banu hoshech legarish, beyadenu or va'esh, kol echad hu or katzan, vechulanu or eitan, sura hoshech halashchor, sura mipnei haor, sura hoshech halashchor, sura Mipnei haor. Do we know it?
No.
Okay.
It rings a bell now.
Okay.
It sounds similar to other ones I've heard.
Okay. So the night is dark and cold. There is light within our soul. In our hearts there burns a flame. Unity in freedom's name. Go away, darkness bleak as night. Go away, make way for light. Go away, darkness bleak as night. Go away, make way for light. Okay.
I like
Thank you,
that
everyone, for your
song.
support. Yeah. And do we know this one? Hanukkah linda está aquí. Ocho candelas para mí. Hanukkah linda está aquí. Ocho candelas para mí. Oh, una candelica, dos candelicas, tres candelicas, cuatro candelicas, cinco candelicas, seis candelicas, siete candelicas, ocho candelas para mí. Okay, so I'm not going to do it all myself this time. There's going to be awkward silences until someone steps up. So I'll do each verse, and then there'll be an awkward silence. But people can unmute and join in if they like. Okay, so I'm going to start. Hanukkah linda está aquí. Ocho candelas para mí. Hanukkah linda está aquí. Ocho candelas para mí. Oh!
Una candelica,
Candelica,
dos
dos candelica, tres candelica,
cuatro
quattro candelica, cinco candelica, seis candelicas,
siete
siete
candelicas,
candelicas,
ocho
Ocho candelas
candelas
para
para
mí.
mí.
Muchas fiestas voy a hacer, con alegrías y placer. Muchas fiestas voy a hacer, con alegrías y placer. Oh, una
Una
candelica.
candelica,
dos
dos
candelica,
candelicas, tres
tres
candelicas,
candelica,
cuatro
quattro
candelicas,
candelica,
ciento
cinco candelica,
candelicas,
seis
Seis candelicas,
candelica,
siete
siete
candelicas,
candelica,
ocho
ocho
candelas
candelas
para mí.
para mí.
Los pastelicos voy a comer con almendricas y la miel. Los pastelicos voy a comer con almendricas y la miel. Oh, faster. Una candelica,
Candelica, dos
dos
candelicas.
candelica, tres
Seis
candelica,
candelicas,
quattro
cuatro
candelica,
candelicas, ocho candelicas,
delica,
seis
seis
candelicas,
candelica,
siete
siete
candelicas,
candelica,
ocho
ocho
candelas para mí.
candelas.
para mí.
Right.
Yeah.
Give yourselves a clap.
Martin, who has a beautiful rendition of that is Idina Menzel, the
Yes.
famous Broadway
Yeah.
singer. I love her version.
Yeah.
Hanukkah linda está aquí, ocho candelas para mí. Hanukkah linda está aquí, ocho candelas para mí. Oh, una candelica, dos candelicas, tres candelicas. candelicas, 4 candelicas, 5 candelicas, 6 candelicas, 7 candelicas, 8 candelas para ti. Muchas fiestas vou fazer, con alegrías y placer. Muchas fiestas vou fazer, con alegrías y placer. Los pastelicos vou comer, con almendrigas y la miel. Los pastelicos vou comer, con almendrigas y la miel. Una candelica, 2 candelicas, 3 candelicas, 4 candelicas, 8 candelicas, 6 candelicas, 7 candelicas, 8 candelas para mí. Una candelica, 2 candelicas, 3 candelicas, 4 candelicas, 5 candelicas, 6 candelicas, 7 candelicas, 8 candelas para mí.
That was written by Flori Jagoda of blessed memory, who was from Sarajevo, Bosnia. Okay, let us stand as we recall those who are no longer with us. If you're remembering anyone at this time, at this point in time, please say their names aloud.
Edife Pascal,
Jeffrey Orty,
My parents, Everline and Charles Wiggins.
You want to say someone, Aaron?
Remembering Peter Relier, Susan Rodriguez, Bill Teitelbaum, and Diane Teitelbaum, and many others. Not that they're all their yard sites, but I'm just remembering them this season.
My brother, Theodis Wiggins.
Also, the families for the people that died in Bondi. Can somebody read the English, please?
May there be a good remembrance and compassion and kindness and love from all the world upon our honorable loved ones who are no longer present. Let us make a place in our hearts to remember their good names, and let us honor them with good deeds. May all their memories be for a blessing. Amen.
יהי זכרן טוב וחסד ברחמים ואהבה מכל העולם לכבוד אהובינו שאינם עוד, אבל ננצור בלבנו את שמותיהם הטובים ונוקירם במעשים טובים, זיכרונם לברכה. Amen.
Amen.
Seated. And time for Kiddush. So whatever it is that you use for your Kiddush, please get it now. And your challah. And if somebody would like to read the English.
and we, humanity, keep the Sabbath, to observe the Sabbath throughout our generations as an everlasting covenant. For 6 days we work, and on the 7th day we rest and are refreshed. Therefore, let us bless the Sabbath day and sanctify it, Blessed is the light in life, and blessed is the fruit of the vine to life.
ושומרים בני האדם את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם, כי ששת ימים עשו מלאכה, וביום השביעי שבתו וינפשו. על כן נברך את יום השבת ונקדשהו, ברוך האור בחיים, וברוך פרי הגפן לחיים. And would somebody like to read this?
If we cannot eat and drink together, we can live and love together. So let us bless those that bring forth bread from the earth.
נוכל לאהוב ולשתות יחדיו, נוכל להיות ולאהוב יחדיו. לכן נברך את המוציאים לחם מן הארץ.
Dag iltas, toma iltas, dag iltas, toma iltas, las muchachas meten paz en Shabbat de Hanukkah. 8 días de Hanukkah, להדליק נר של Hanukkah. La gallina de la cocina, la gallina de la cocina, dale a gustar a la vecina que le sea milicina. 8 días de Hanukkah, להדליק נר של Hanukkah. Mete la carne al tandoor, mete la carne al tandoor, tañeremos un buen santor en Shabbat de Hanukkah. 8 días de Hanukkah, להדליק נר של Hanukkah. El vino de la serrana, el vino de la serrana, que a mí mucho me agrada a beber en Hanukkah. 8 días de Hanukkah, להדליק נר של Hanukkah.
That was Sarah Aroeste, whose family is from Monastir in Macedonia. And that's a song that's only sung on the Shabbat of Hanukkah. So, Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and Hag Sameach.
Thank you, Martin. That was wonderful. And everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you. It's exactly what
Thank
we
you.
needed. Beautiful.
Thank you.
And if I may mention, because this was something we did reminded me of this, was that last night I listened to the Friday night, Kabbalat Shabbat service with online with Romamu in New York City, which is a Jewish renewal community. But the rabbi, David Ingbar, grew up Orthodox, and he's just brilliant. He's really brilliant and soulful, and he just did an incredible sermon. I mean, he spoke too fast for me, so I want to go back and listen to it. But I highly recommend it. It's all online, and the community is called Romamu, Romemu, Romamu. Yeah, because it had to do with Bondi, but the Jewish tradition of like refusal was kind of one theme, but he brought in the Torah portions.